Hello, my name is Brian Malpartida, and today I'm going to be talking about throwing garbage in the streets. So, one time I was going back to my house from school. I was in the bus, and when I got there, uh, I noticed that one of my teachers was there. Specifically, it was my biology teacher. So, we were talking about school things, and some something that we talked about was garbage, and it was because uh, in in the road going to my house, there's a river which is called Rio Rimac, and at the time there was a lot of garbage in this river. So we were talking about it, and he mentioned something that was very interesting for me. He said that he never threw garbage in the streets, that he'd rather just put anything he had in his hands in his pockets or in somewhere else, but it was in a place he could go to his house or find someone, uh, find somewhere to throw it and do it after, right? So this lesson is something that I have applied all my life, and I always tell people about it. Like, never throw anything in the streets. It's better if you put it in your pocket and then you just throw it in the garbage where it's supposed to be, but somewhere you're actually admitted to do it. Even friends have told me that this doesn't make any sense, that it's just a little thing, but it does matter, and people usually do it because they don't know about it, or simply they just forget about it, they don't remember. So my objective today is to encourage people to stop throwing garbage, right? And I'm going to touch three main topics, which are earth contamination, giving bad examples to our family, and holding accountable to our community. So first off, I'm going to begin talking about something that was said by KAB Leader in America study, right? So they said this: 11.5 billion is spent every year to clean up litter. So imagine all that money that governments spend just to clean up the things we throw in the street. Is there something we can do about this to avoid spending more money? I know technically it's not our money, but imagine what could the governments do if they don't spend these 11.5 billion. Just think about the number, and we are going to notice that it's actually something to worry about. All right, so I'm going to add something else. Something that was said by the Environmental Protection Agency. Litter makes an area look dirty and unhealthful, unpleasant to be in, and less likely to be used and enjoyed by the community. All right, so communities in plural, they don't like to see a bad cared park. They don't like to see garbage in the corners. They don't like to have the streets all dirty. They would never do. In fact, I was doing a little research in my community, and no one in my community is satisfied by how the streets are at the moment. In fact, they've been even more preoccupied about this because there are public works around here, which ends up with the street being full of dust and dirt. even the houses are full of this. And this is a problem because people are less likely to worry about garbage because they have other things to worry about. So something else I would like to mention is that litter causes pollution. Researchers estimate that more than 40% of the world's litter is burned in the open air, which can release toxic emissions. And this was said by the Texas disposal systems. So imagine all these problems, all these consequences, all that is going on just because we don't do little things like keeping our community clean or just simply throwing garbage in the streets. Like, it's little things that we do that have a really negative outcome. Something that can be a solution for this, it could be to do in our communities. We can do community cleanup days. As I said, this could be a great example to other communities in order to begin caring about our earth. But everything starts in our family, in our home. So if we make it a culture to care about earth and to stop throwing garbage, like, the other people in our family are going to set the example for everyone else. And people are going to see that the words we say are actually being said as well in our home, and that everyone is respecting them. Also, I think there is some social norms to be determined in order to control earth pollution, throwing garbage in the streets, and everything else that has to do with contamination. And obviously, we need time in order to receive perhaps some help from the government, but we can start with our families and to live by certain standards. So we can show people that we care about earth, and not only as a culture, but we have some discipline as well. Imagine if all this would be done, we would have clean streets, we would have a healthy earth, communities will be more likely to be visited. Who doesn't want to visit a clean community, right? So there is a lot of positive impact that comes from just caring about our earth. So I would like to encourage you all to share this knowledge with your community so they can know as well the consequences, the reasons why we should care about our earth, and why we should stop throwing garbage in the streets. Another thing that I will ask you to do is to set the example to your family, to your community. Be the first one to do it. And at last, I would like you to reflect on garbage in the street. Did you throw garbage in the street today? Did you used to do it? And what will you do to stop doing it in the future? And my conclusion is that if we stop throwing garbage, we will be a happy community and we will make a happy earth. Thank you.